What is up, everybody? Happy Friday, the opening weekend of the NFL. Yeah, we had the game last night, which is actually a lot closer than what most expected. Tonight, I'm joined by my guest, Brian Dudek. He's a lifer Lions fan, and we've been on the show a few times. My name is Brian Rago, host of the Cheese Talk podcast. And Brian, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, Brian.
Yeah.
For Friday night opening weekend for football. Couldn't be more excited.
What did you think of the opening game last night? I thought it was a lot closer than what most people are expecting.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a lot closer too. But both teams, their defenses, they all still can't stop the run with their defense,
Yeah.
and the Eagles defense, they both defenses. I mean, it was just up until the lightning delay. They were having a hard time stopping each other. I mean,
Yeah, it was yeah. I mean, CD Lamb dropping balls, and then you got Jalen Carter. I mean, people are all went over Jalen Carter about the whole issue about spitting, but they're trying to show different angles and look like Dak spit too. So I mean, it's usually what like they say, usually it's the one that retaliates is the one that gets caught, right?
right? Yeah, and the not now announcers were trying to say that Dak was spitting at the ground and everything, and
Yeah,
it,
but yeah, that's not. I'm glad that those aren't my teams to worry about because I know, like, the closest thing I think we had to something happening like that was a couple years ago when Quay Walker got himself ejected in some pretty key games for bumping. What was it? Bumping the trainer. I forgot what team that was. Was that the Lions trainer?
yeah,
And then I think he
yeah.
just
I think it was the final game for Aaron Rodgers before he decided to
yeah.
go to the Jets. I think it was, good old
But yeah,
Aaron.
it's silly stuff that people should be able to control, but they can't. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the Lions? Their performance in their season last year.
Season they performed really well, and then in the playoffs, they were just awful in that game against the Commanders. It seemed like they didn't have a good game plan or anything on offense and the defense. I know, like, but Ben Jensen and Aaron Glenn were interviewing for head coaching jobs. I don't know how much that played a factor, but like they did not seem like the same team in that game. Like Goff was awful in it. Like three or four interceptions, a fumble. Defensively, they couldn't stop the Commanders.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like when a team is that good, and you got other teams that aren't in the playoffs that are trying to contact their coaches during it. I mean, that's got to throw off the game planning a little bit, and maybe that was a factor. And now with that happening, with Aaron Glenn going to the Jets and Dan Campbell going to the Bears, how much do you think that's going to affect this year's team?
I I don't think it's going to affect it too much because Dan Campbell's still the head coach, and their defensive coordinator. They were having him call plays and run the defense too last year because they knew Glenn was probably going to get a job. Offensively, you've still got Goff, you got Gibson, Montgomery in the backfield, and you've got St. Brown, Williams at wide receiver, Laporta. The new OC, it might take him some time to figure everything out, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you have the same cast of players, they should be all on the same page for the most part.
Yeah, just have to do some fine tuning with the new coaches and get them all used to each
Yeah,
other so they can work as one, right?
right.
Um, how do you think how do you think they did in the draft?
They did pretty well in the draft. You know, address some of the needs. I still would have liked to have seen them get a edge or someone else to help Hutchinson out because I mean after he went down in the Dallas game, I mean they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback after that.
Yeah,
So I mean that for me that's the what was the big piece that they really needed.
yeah. It's always tough to try to replicate a player like Hutch because he's such a good player and athlete, and when someone like that goes down, it affects the whole team more than what people think.
Yeah.
Um, do you think they're going to be any rookies this year that make an impact on the team right away?
The I would say Isaiah Tassala, wide receiver. He's a one player that I could see making an impact for them.
What do you think about like just pull up their selections this last year? So the first round pick was a D tackle Tyleek Williams out of Ohio State. Um, the Isaac Tesla from Arkansas.
Yeah,
Is that who you're talking about?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, and they got Dominic Lovett from Georgia, another receiver. Got safety Dan Jackson from Florida. They got an edge rusher Ahmed Hassanine from Boise State. So I mean, they seem to draft in some of the keyer positions on a team. So and you never know how people are going to translate from college to the pros either. You got that's why people always. I mean, I don't know. It's you could have a top draft pick that just like Jamarcus Russell. He's a dud.
yeah.
It's
I mean, there's that learning curve going from college to pro because it's
yeah.
so different. I mean, the things you do in college, you can get away with doing certain things in college that if you try to do that stuff in the pros, y- y- and then the players have been around for 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to catch on pretty quick, and they're going to be, and you're going to have a hard time figuring everything out that you need to do. It's
Yeah, and the guys that, like you said, the guys that have been there 3, 4, 5 years, if they're like on defense, or even if the team's on offense and they know who they're going against is like lost, they're gonna pick him apart and just get in the guy's head. He's just gonna spiral out of. He's just gonna do terrible.
oh yeah,
It's it's crazy. I was reading that article. I don't know how true it is about like former staffers and players with the Chicago Bears and how they handled Caleb Williams last year and how like they had to dummy down the offense to make it for him to understand it, and it's crazy, it's
yeah. I
just to see
mean,
some of this stuff. And I mean, I always remember like Jamarcus Russell, like the coaches gave him like game tape, and they asked him like if he read it, went home, watched it, or whatever. He said yeah, and the tapes are blank. There's nothing. There's no video footage or anything on there. So I knew right there that he wasn't studying or trying to get better. He was just, it's, it's
yeah.
crazy. Um, how how big do you think the loss of Ben Johnston is gonna hurt your team?
I don't think it's going to be as big a loss as people think. Uh, and that they still have all the same players coming back, and Dan Campbell would also call some of the plays too for the offense. So I mean, he may take over some of the play calling, and I mean, he's going to be the one that if it's 4th and 1, he's going to be the one that says we're going to go for it.
As everyone watching knows, the Packers recently acquired Micah Parsons, and I've been like watching the video clips of the interviews and stuff, and they asked him like his thoughts on the Lions, because obviously the Packers play the Lions on Sunday, and he pretty much said that like he what do you say, he hates Detroit, or he can't stand Detroit. Obviously, the Cowboys and the Lions must have had some type of rivalry when he was there. And then they asked him about the trick plays that the Lions run. Right? Did you hear this yet? Did you see this?
No, I didn't see
And
that. I'll have to find it.
his quote was, "Trick plays are for people who can't beat you straight up. It's like a guy running around the ring and they're trying to jab, but meet me in the middle. Let's line it up. That's what guys who try to do trick plays do. They can't beat you head up. They don't want to out physical you. They don't want to be dominant. It's a scare tactic, I guess." So it's like okay, now it's gonna add a little bit of fuel to the fire for Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, what are your thoughts on that quote?
I mean, there is some truth to it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you're trying to go out and
Win.
win a game. If you can come up with some play that's gonna
Right.
help you win the game, why not? Why not try it out and see what happens? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just excited. Like I was excited like going into the season, kind of knowing what we got in the draft, and this Jordan Love hopefully gonna come back 100%. We got some returning studs on offense and defense. And I just all of a sudden it's like boom, Micah Parsons, and it's like reliving that whole like Charles Woodson type player coming onto your team, or a Reggie White type player coming onto your team, and it's just like, yeah. Then you got people saying how, oh, he's a lemon, and Dallas, they didn't want him anyways, and all the Dallas fans are glad that he's gone, and it's like this guy, he's an outside linebacker slash defensive end, and he has cornerback speed, you know. So I
yeah,
mean, this guy, he's like a unicorn out there, and that's I'm excited to see him take snaps for Green Bay. Obviously, I'm glad he's on my team.
yeah.
um, what players do you think are poised to take a big leap in year number 2 on the team?
I'm gonna say Jameson Williams. If he can have a full season, I thought last year was gonna be his breakout season because with the speed he has at wide receiver and everything. I mean, he can be that deep threat, and he can catch passes coming over the middle and just run by everyone when he gets going.
Yeah, I'm excited to see his touchdown celebrations.
Yeah.
I like the one, I forgot who they're playing last year, but he was like doing the pelvic thrust in the end zone. That was hilarious. But yeah, I liked him coming out of college. I kind of was hoping the Packers would have somehow tried to find a way to get him, but he's had a couple off the field issues. But
Yeah.
I think that's it's I don't know. It's all about like how you make that transition from the college life to the professional life, and how you carry yourself, and who you surround yourself with. That don't just make sure you don't get put in those situations. And that's a huge factor, I think, with him. But I think he has the potential to be a really really good player in the NFL for sure. Do you think, or can the cornerback room improve this year?
Yeah, yeah. Can and the big thing there is if they can all stay healthy this year because
That's huge. That is
yeah,
absolutely huge.
because like about week 4, week 5 or so, we started just having players go down every week. There was like one or two players, and when you keep losing players, especially on the defense, it takes it's toll on your team, and it's
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like if you're losing cornerbacks and you can't get that defensive gelling to get to that quarterback to force that ball out, that's going to get those cornerbacks tired because they're just going to keep chasing the quarterback around and around and around and around. And, eventually, it just comes down to the last man standing, because I totally agree with what you're saying because we dealt with that with Jair Alexander the last 3 years. And like last year, he was out because of his knee. Hell of a player, but he was hurt more often than he played. And it's you can't take a gamble and pay someone to play based off your past. You got to pay him based off of their health now and their future, And
right.
we ended up releasing him, and he went to Baltimore. And I think this last week, 2 days ago, was his first practice with the Ravens in like 4 weeks. And he was dealing with the same thing with his knee that he had issues with in Green Bay. So I mean, everyone's like, oh, everyone's mad. Some Packer fans are upset that the Packers, released him, but you don't want to pay a guy millions of dollars to be on the sideline. You want him to be out there and play and be productive. So it sucks. It comes down to ultimately it's a business, and you're going to make investments based off of what's best for your company or for your team, right? I mean,
Right.
it's Jair, thank you for your time. Sucks that you got hurt and everything, but I mean, the Packers had to move on. It's just how it is, And even like with the Kenny Clark and the Micah Parsons thing, it's like, Kenny Clark, 30 years old. The last couple of years, his numbers have went down. He played hurt most of last year. So you get rid of a 30-year-old and you bring in a 26-year-old, a three-time All-Pro, Mr. All-World linebacker. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. If Parsons can come in and be productive, I mean, obviously it's going to pay off. So I mean, injuries suck and how they affect the team. I know you guys had quite a few guys down last year, and that's just the risk of playing a contact sport is. Nothing you can really do about it. And I mean, to me, the way they changed the preseason, like training camp rules years ago, out to how or from how it used to be, I think there's just more injuries happening more frequently. So it's hopefully they can figure out and get that going better. But it is what it is, right?
Right. I mean,
Do you think? The Lions without Ben Johnson? Do you think they lack a knockout punch like that big play?
No, no. I still think they'll come up with some big plays, and I mean you've got St. Brown or Williams that you can throw a deep pass to. I mean, gives out the backfield. I mean, with his speed, if he breaks a couple tackles and he gets into the open field, he can make a big run. I
Right.
mean, we may not see as many trick plays from them, but they've still got the personnel to make big plays on the field. It would be different if they were bringing in a whole new quarterback, new running backs, wide receivers, and
Yeah, that Jameer Gibbs, man, he gives me nightmares just watching him. He's quick. He's quick. He's very quick. And you get him in the open field and he's gone. No one's gonna catch him.
yeah.
Do you think the Lions are considered underdogs?
Yeah, yeah. This year they seem to be underdogs. Everyone's talking about them losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, and then with the Packers getting Parsons and with Ben Johnson going to the Bears, everyone seems to be in love with the Bears these days, which I don't see it yet. But
No, that's
but
yeah. I've always said, I there's a few things I like about Chicago, and none of it's their sports teams. So it's usually their skyline, their pizza, and some of the Twitter users that I'm friends with on Twitter. That's about the only thing I like about Chicago. Oh, it's always a good one, right?
yeah,
Um, what's your record prediction for the Lions this year, Brian?
10 and 7.
How do you think they'll do against the Packers? Like
I,
as
I
far as like both games, 1-1, 2-0, 0-2.
I'll say 1-1. They'll probably go against the Packers.
Yeah, so like obviously before the before the Parsons trade, I was kind of I was positive about the Packers and everything, and I was thinking that maybe they'll just split. They'll win the home opener in Green Bay, and maybe they'll lose in Detroit against the Lions. But now that they got Parsons, it's like I'm pretty sure there's no way that the Packers can lose on Sunday. It's just, I mean, all the hype and no one like on defense. I mean, I keep replaying like in my head just the defensive line and the defensive front. You got you know for a while Rashawn Gary was just an animal, right? He's getting sacks left and right, left and right, and then he started getting double teamed. Then the guy opposite of him wasn't getting pressure, so it was working. So we weren't pressuring the quarterback last year as much as we have in the past. But now that you have a guy in Micah Parsons, who I was watching some tape on him, and he was demanding triple teams. So you take three guys from the offense and focus on one guy. There's guys coming in from the other side, just left and right, And yeah,
Yeah,
I always say if you can't get to the quarterback in that 3 to 5 second window, that's when the opposing receivers can get wide open. So you got to get to the quarterback, and you got to make him throw before he wants to, and you got to make him uncomfortable, and you got to get in his head. So hopefully, with the addition of Micah Parsons, that's something that not just with the Sunday's game, but with every game that they play, hopefully they can improve on. From my point of view, for the Packers, hopefully they can improve on getting to that quarterback and making them make bad decisions. I
yeah,
mean, but yeah, I'm thinking, Parsons, with the addition of Parsons, the way the city is vibing, it's just like the Packers can't lose on Sunday. It's just going to be a huge letdown, and I don't think
yeah.
the Packers want to have that resting on their shoulders. So I just hope for a good game. That's all you can ask for, right? Win or
Right.
lose. So yeah, I got the Packers. I was guessing them like they have I mean, the NFC North is a tough division, I think, and it's you know
Yeah, yeah. I still think Detroit and Green Bay are probably the two best teams, and then Chicago.
you don't know what you have with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I
It's like
mean,
you have all the weapons on offense, but you need to have the quarterback to get the ball to the weapons, right?
right,
So I don't know. I don't know. I have like either the Packers or the Vikings at 1 and 2, and then the Vikings and the Bears. You can't give Bears more credit than what they deserve, right?
right.
We can agree on
I
that.
mean, yeah, I mean, everyone seems to think Ben Johnson's gonna make a whole bunch of difference for them, but
I
I
still
mean,
think so. I was on a podcast the other day with Chair Shot Sports and We Bleed Purple. He's a Ravens podcaster, and um, Chair Shot Sports is a Niners fan, and we were just talking about how just it's such a hard division to the Packers and the Vikings, and we ended up with the Packers and the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay.
We all had the same prediction, so it's crazy. But I had the Packers going 11-6. I think it's would be fair to say. Um, what are you most excited for, Parsons and Gary? Um, yeah. What are you? Sorry. What are you most excited for, like this upcoming season? Like as far as like, what are you gonna like? What have you seen from last year to this year that has changed that maybe made you feel more excited about um, the Lions?
For me, the biggest thing is just them getting Hutchinson back healthy, because I mean he was on a tear before he went down in the Dallas game. So I'm excited. Excited to see what he does coming back, how healthy, and how our defense plays, if he plays the full season.
Yeah, I'm yeah. I mean, for you and for as far as me and the Packers, I'm excited for just to see. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but the Packers had what a top 10 defense last year, I believe, and
Yeah,
it's just a lot of the stuff like it all. I think that if Aaron Rodgers, if Jordan Love can stay up, if he can stay up and not be taking all these hits, if the line can protect him and he can make the passes, hopefully he can stay healthy. Because I don't even know, last year he hurt his leg in the first game, then he came back and then he hurt his groin, and then he just he wasn't 100% pretty much all of last year. If he can come back healthy this year for Green Bay, um, and make his throws, be successful. If the defense can force turnovers, and if they can get to the quarterback, disrupt the offense, that's huge. It's offense plays good, defense plays good, defense plays good. It's just like it's contagious. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's you get that feeling like you're all playing for each other, and it's just I think teams play better knowing that they know everyone's giving 100%. So
right.
that's huge for me, and I just think I always joke about the last few years before we got Brandon McManus, the kicker. We're always up in arms over our field goal, over our kickers in the preseason, you know. But he, in training camp, I'm just gonna Google it here quick. Excuse me. He had his made percentage was crazy. It was like 60. I don't know. Anyway, I mean he's money. He's a good kicker. I just think back our last kicker that was good was Mason Crosby, and that was how many years ago? And
Yeah,
we just drafted a couple, and we had kicking competitions. We had like 3 or 4 kickers in at once, and it's just we found this guy. He did good. We extended him in the off season, so hopefully he can. You think back to, like, for me, like, against the Niners, Anders Carlson missed that field goal against the San Francisco 49ers. It would have put us up by a touchdown. They came back and they beat us. It's like you think back to if we had McManus back then, we would have beat the Niners. It's just that whole mindset.
yeah,
But
yes,
I'm just excited for. I'm really excited for. I'm excited to see Nate Hobbs at cornerback for the Packers. Um, he is the free agent from Las Vegas that we got. Uh, Apparently, in training camp, he was like a missile out there, going after his own teammates, like hitting them and stuff. So hopefully, he can translate that in the regular season games instead of just his teammates.
yeah.
Do you think Jared Goff has any regression with some offensive line changes? Didn't you guys lose a couple linemen?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ragnow retired, and then the other guy went signed with Baltimore. I want to say so. I think there will be some regression there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Detroit try and run the ball more this year, especially early in the season, to try and get that line going and to not put golf under so much pressure early on.
Yeah, you never know because I mean, you lose someone like you said, like right now, it's just he retired, right?
Yeah,
He's done. So it's like you lose someone like that. It's just he such a cornerstone of that offense, and you lose someone like that. It's just you don't know until you go out there and take live bullets, you know. So it's um it's crazy. Yeah, I think I mean on my end, I hope Jordan Love his first year he had crazy stats his first year. He had like I mean he had good numbers, and then he got hurt last year and his numbers weren't as good as the previous year. But I hope this year he goes and has better numbers in his second year. So I
yeah.
have his stats written down somewhere.
It's-
I don't want to say something and say the wrong stats, but he yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Oh, so 2023 he had 4,159 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. 2024 he had 3,389 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. So I'd like to see him at least for 4,000 yards plus and 35 touchdowns. I think will put him up in that where we expect him to be at this year in his third year starting, right?
yeah.
um, who do you think the Lions' breakout player will be this year?
I'll have to think about that one. I'll say Jack Campbell, linebacker. I think he'll be a breakout player for him on defense.
Okay. Do you think we've? Do you think? I'm trying to think how to phrase this. Do you think Jameer Gibbs has already had his breakout season, or you think he's still prone to have that big like, "Hey, I'm here. Like this is my league."
I think he's still prone to probably have that big season, but I the league kind of knows what you're getting with Gibbs. I mean, that final game against Minnesota when he had like the four touchdowns against you kind of know what you're getting from Gibbs with his speed and him coming out of the backfield and or even doing the screen passes with him, but with him also having money in the backfield, splitting the carries.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So you have someone like Montgomery, we all know he can be good. You got Jameer Gibbs, to where I think he came into the league and no one knew how to like defend him. So like he was very very effective at what they did. And once you get a player like that, I think eventually teams catch on and they know how to defend someone like that. So they tend to focus more on that player. And that's when the next person steps up and has a very, very productive season, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah, you never know. I'm looking for I think for the Packers, I think Lucas Van Ness needs to have a breakout year. A guy his size, he's 6'5", like 275. The guy's huge,
yeah,
you know? And with and with the rotational pieces we have at linebacker and line, I just see our front seven just being mean, and Packer fans is like, yeah, we're all like, why did we draft Jordan Morgan last year, the offensive lineman? And everyone's like, oh, he had a bad year, he's a bust, this and that. And then this preseason, and we were also like, well, what about Lucas Van Ness? He's not doing anything either. Well, this offseason, preseason, like you saw clips of Van Ness just pushing back Jordan Morgan, like just driving him back into the backfield, and then you see preseason games where Jordan Morgan's one of the highest rated linemen in the NFL in preseason. So it's like, what the hell is going on in Green Bay? Is like, because you got Van Ness is showing up Morgan in mini or training camp. Then you have Morgan like being one of the better linemen in preseason. So it's like, hopefully these two guys have very productive second and third years in the league. So I'm looking forward. I think Lucas Van Ness is going to have a breakout year for the Packers.
Okay.
I really do. But
what do you think about Michael Golden for the Packers?
About who? Sorry, my dog's upstairs being noisy.
Michael Golden, the
Matthew Golden.
wide receiver from
Oh, I think
Notre
he's
Dame.
gonna. I think he's gonna. He's quick. I think he's gonna do good. It depends on So Jaden Reed was one of our go-to guys last year, and he has what they call like a Jones fracture in his left foot, and that's like pretty much requires surgery. But he's gonna like not have surgery as of now. And then you got obviously Christian Watson is on the pup list to start the year. We got Dontavian Wicks, and you got Romeo Doubs, and you got Tucker Kraft and Musgrave, and so it all depends on like how teams approach those players before they approach Golden. Because if you had all of our receivers out there healthy, someone's going to be getting double teamed, and who's ever not getting double teamed is going to be wide open. I mean, Golden has the speed to just blow past the safeties and be wide open, right? He has the movement. Christian Watson, he has the movement too. Jaden Reed has the movement. I think the Packers knew what they were doing when they drafted him. So I think he has a huge ceiling. I think for a rookie, I think he's going to do good. Number wise, it's just going to be crazy to see like 3-4 years down the road, like what we're going to do with our receivers, because they're all going to want new contracts. They're all going to want, obviously, chances are you can't keep them all. So no, I you watch his tape and he, the ball is in the air and he'll go to the ball. He wants to get that ball in his hands, and he was definitely fun to watch in the preseason, and I'm excited to watch him. And switching his number to number 0 too, that's awesome. He was number 22, then he switched it to 0. So
Okay.
And you saw about Mike Parsons, right? He went. Obviously, Jaden Reed's number 11, and
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, he's number 1. Like his number is number 1, and the last Packer player to wear number 1 was Curly Lambeau. So it was like not officially retired, but no one ever had that number since Lambeau had it. So it's kind of crazy how he's taken like the legend number. It's just it's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for everything this year. It's just how you always say, oh, I'm so pumped. I haven't been this pumped for a new season to start than I am tonight or this week or this year or whatever. That's me this year. So I'm pretty excited. Who do you see winning the NFC and the AFC and the potential or the eventual winner of the Lombardi Trophy?
AFC. I'll say the Bills when the AFC.
Okay.
I see the Packers winning the NFC. It's just it's kind of get in Parsons and everything gets it's kind of one of those years for him. It's like when they got Reggie White and everything. It's just kind of
What were they saying? So the Packers got Reggie White when Favre was 27, and they won the title. They got Charles Woodson when Rodgers was 27, and they won a title. Jordan Love turns 27 this year, and they got Parsons. That if that isn't some something to think about, I don't know what is.
yeah. It's kind of like fate, I guess.
Yeah,
You know,
like
it's
like how history repeats itself.
yeah. That's
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like so, even like with the Green Bay hosting the draft this last year and everything, it's just I was fortunate enough. Initially, I wasn't gonna go because it's like it's just too many people. I don't like being around a bunch of people, especially people that are drinking. But I ended up going on day 2 and 3. Day 3, I brought my two boys with me and kind of just walked around and just saw everything and just just it's cool to bring them there because it's like I thought to myself, if I wouldn't have went, I would have regretted not going because who knows if it's ever going to be in Green Bay ever again. So I'm glad I went. Met up with Mr. First Down, the Tennessee Titans super fan.
okay.
Um,
No,
Iowa
no, him
Joe,
yet.
Iowa Joe, who is on the Ohana Packers, and just got to meet some people that I've talked to on that I've met on Twitter and doing podcasting. So it's pretty cool. Um,
That's cool.
I who do you have winning, the Packers or the Bills?
Packers.
That's what I like to hear out of a Lions fan.
Six.
I'm gonna do a little quick um a new little segment called rapid fire. Where I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna give me a quick answer if you can.
All right.
Um, you can elaborate if you want. You don't have to, but it's it is what it is. So it's about 10 questions, and yeah, I'll get started here in just a second. All right, some little Eminem there beat with my Detroit Lions fan here. Uh, this is Detroit Lions rapid fire. Question 1: Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson?
Barry Sanders.
Ford Field or the Silverdome?
Portfield.
Greatest line of all time?
I'll say Barry Sanders.
Honolulu Blue or classic black alternates?
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's kneecap quote: legendary or cringe?
Legendary.
Okay. Stronger rivalry: Packers or the Bears?
Packers, I think.
Would you rather sit at 50-yard line or in the end zone?
50-yard line.
Because you can see the whole field, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Best Lions QB ever.
Oh God. Billy Lane, way back in the day.
Okay. I don't know. I like Stafford. That's my guess. But most underrated line of all time.
Herman Moore.
Oh yeah, back in those glory days with
Yeah.
who was your quarterback? Was it Scott Mitchell?
Scott Mitchell. Yeah.
Even I know that. It's just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Hutchinson or Branch?
Hutch.
Yeah. I think Branch is dirty.
Yeah.
Him and it's just my opinion. I think Branch and whatchamacallit, the other Kirby Joseph.
Kirby Joseph.
Yeah, those two guys, they uh they smell of dirty to me. Going for kneecaps. That's where the Dan Campbell kneecaps quote comes in, right?
Yeah.
um, who do you think is the heart of the team?
I'll go St. Brown.
Okay. Would you ever get a Lions tattoo?
Yeah.
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 What
Yeah. I
would it
would.
take to get a Lions tattoo if you don't already have one?
I don't because I'm not a big fan of needles, but if they won the Super Bowl, I'd end up getting one somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any Lions fans out there that like midway through the year last year when the Lions are doing really good, they're like, oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl, so they went out and got one for like 2025 Super Bowl champions, and all of a sudden the Lions didn't get it, so they're stuck with the tattoo that's like lying. You know,
I
it's lying
know.
about history. And last question: former or current Lion that you trust to babysit if you're a kid, if you were to ask a player to babysit your kid, a former Lion or a current Lion, who would it be?
I'll say Kelvin Johnson.
Uh,
It's
I don't know. He was dabbling into the wacky tobacco there for a while, so I don't know if I'd trust him. I would guess most people would probably say Matthew Stafford.
probably.
You know, so yeah, isn't there a game on right now? The Chiefs and the Chargers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's on YouTube TV or something.
No. Cool. But no, I want to thank you for definitely being on tonight. Huge game coming up Sunday. I think it can go either way. Lions can win, Packers can win, obviously. Um, yeah, I definitely it's like a season that I'm just excited for the season, especially with the addition of Micah Parsons, and you get all the ones that are like upset, that he left Dallas and went to Green Bay. Like, oh, he has a bad back issue, and he's a lemon, and this and that, and it's just people say the stupidest stuff, and you don't think the Packers front office looked into all this stuff before they made the trade? I mean, are
Right,
you kidding me? You think the Packers would spend what whatever $1 million a year on a player that isn't going to give you anything in return? 188 million in 4 years, and you're going to take a swing and miss with someone like this. It's they know what they're doing. They're GMs for a reason, and there's reasons why we're not GMs, because
right,
a lot of us like to play couch GM with Madden with the salary cap off, and just make all these huge non-real life trades that would never make sense in real life on a video game. But
right.
I do want to thank you for being on. I would love to catch up with you during the season at some point and get you back on and get your thoughts on how the season's going with the Lions. If you're down with that, I'd be happy to have you back on again. And
Oh, yeah. I'd be happy to come back on. Thank you for having me on.
where can people find you at on social media?
It's Dudek Dudek dot Brian on Twitter or X now as it's called.
Yeah, it's Twitter, the Bird app.
That's what I still call it. I mean, X does not sound right.
Yeah, and for me, you can find me on the easiest way to find all my socials, if you go to Twitter and you go to, or find me, it's Cheese Talk _pod. Cheese is spelled with a Z. In my profile, I have my link tree. And if you go into the description of this podcast on YouTube, my link tree link is in there as well, so you can find me. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. So yeah, come find me and harass me. I'll harass you back. And go Pack, go! And again, Brian, thanks for being on, and we'll catch back up later on in the season.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your weekend.
You as well. I got my first youth football game tomorrow, 8:00 in the morning. So I got
Good luck there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.